I'm Roy Holliday. I'm going to be 93 years old in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm a dance band drummer. I've been around drums, or drums have been around me, for the whole of my life. When I was about 18 months old, my uncle had a dance band that used to rehearse in the afternoons. I wandered in there and pulled the bass drum down on top of me. In those days, they were single-headed bass drums, so I ended up inside the bass drum. So you can say I've been surrounded by drums since I was 18 months old. The war started in 1939 when I was 13 years old, and my uncle's drummer was called up for war service. So on Bonfire Night, November the 5th, 1939, I played my first gig for money with my uncle's band. We sat and we played, and I just tickled the drums really, and just played for people to dance. And it must have been satisfactory because he never bothered to look for another drummer. So by the time I was 14, I not only was working in my uncle's band, he was acting as my agent as well. My grandmother, who was my legal guardian, when I was 14 years old, signed an apprenticeship deal for 5 years for me to go and work in an aeroplane engine factory. And when I got to 17 years, I wasn't taken because I was in a reserved occupation, which was good for me because I worked in a factory band. So I was playing with professional musicians who'd taken day jobs to keep out of being called up. I was playing with West End musicians when I was 16 and 17 years old. Probably had no business playing with them at all, but they couldn't get other people. And so I was taken into the West End of London, played in nightclubs, learnt to play professionally. So the people who'd been reserved occupation during the war, like myself, were then sent into national service. So instead of playing the drums in a factory band, I was now playing the drums in the Royal Air Force. Well, that took me to India and Egypt, and at the end of that time, I had decided that there was no way I was going back to work in a factory again, and so I became a full-time musician in 1948. When I was working in nightclubs till 4 o'clock in the morning to people that weren't interested in the music. So in 1974, I decided to get out of the business and go to business school. So this is the time when I joined Pearl. And so I never really left the business as a player. It just sort of was put on a back burner, if you like. And from then on, the rest is history. I went to Pearl and I moved the company to Milton Keynes, became the managing director of a new company that was formed to sell Pearl drums in the UK, and that went on until I reached retirement age. And at retirement age, that was the end of another phase in my life, and I started again teaching, repairing drums and playing. The last time I played a gig for money, a real gig, was 7 years ago. I would have been 86, because the arthritis was starting to set in, and I felt that I couldn't do what the young guys were doing. And I didn't want to be in the stage where people were saying, "Oh, poor old guy, he used to be good when he was young." I really wanted to sort of bow out and people remember me for what I did, if it was worthwhile. I hope it was.
applause. That's it.
Have you enjoyed drumming?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun.
Is it nostalgic when you play?
It's disturbing when I play because I can't do some of the things I used to be able to do. You know, as I said, time is something that, you know, we've all got a heartbeat, we all do everything according to time. But musical time, I suppose, is rhythm, isn't it? And it's this thing that we jazz musicians talk about, which you can't define, which is swing, which is time, which is what makes you dance. It's the difference between it's just, you either have it or you don't. That's it, I've finished.
93 is impressive.
I don't know that it is impressive. It's depressive sometimes. One tends to think that you can do everything that you could when you were younger, and it's not true. But having said that, I'm still getting around, and here I am sitting in a cab in London with two charming young ladies.
I knew you'd say that. What's your secret then?
No secret.
No secret?
No secret.
I mean for doing this well.
No, you mean for longevity?
Yeah.
No, there's no secret. You just eat, drink, and look after yourself. Take care of yourself, they say. I sort of outlived the norm. You know, much as it doesn't sound right somehow now to say so, but I've not exactly outlived my usefulness, but the average age, I think, for men is, what, 84? And here I am just about 10 years later. It's too much. Sometimes. That's what you miss, is your contemporaries, people that I was around with. A lot of them haven't lived as long as me. Perhaps they didn't live such a good life as I did.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Good luck with the car.
Oh yeah. Don't forget you have something in the boots.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh, I'll have that now.
Oh, wow. Ah. You know, sometimes I wake up in the morning, I think, I'm not going to do anything today. But the Coda Club has always been a slightly different thing with me. Like it's something I have to go to. We know more about each other than we know about ourselves. I need to be here. I need to prove I'm still alive and that there's others still alive. I can't let everything go from the past. I mean, I've let the playing go. I suppose I've let quite a lot of things go, but this has been my life, you know. There's guys here I've known for 60 years, 70 years. And you just can't break it off, you know.
Where are we going, Roy?
We're going across to the Coda Club. Do you want an establishing shot of me entering the Coda Club? Come on then, darling, let's get in here.
decided that we should have a tie. So we said CC for Coda Club. Now this may sound negative because Coda suggests the end, but it was because most of us were senior members. We would like to welcome younger players into the fold.
I just got a repeat from Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
Were you on that?
Yeah.
What, the original?
Well, no, what they've done, they've taken it off of Life of Brian, you see.
Yeah.
From the end of and they've pirated the track.
Yeah.
So I got a repeat for it. Can't remember ever doing it.
Don't.
Most of it I can't remember
If
ever doing it.
they've just recorded this, and you're saying you can't remember you ever did it.
Don't put that out. I'll never get another penny.
Right. And there we go.
There we go.
How do you feel when you do play the drums?
That I'm on top of the world and in charge.